be considered. Moving on to the business, we have here today, and we're excited to have them here today, David Oles and Jerry Marrinich?
Correct.
And Jerry Marrinich. So thank you for being here, guys. Welcome to the convention. So as mentioned earlier, everyone will have each of you will have 2 minutes to make an opening statement. Thereafter, I'll be asking each of you a series of questions. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions here, a minute each to respond to each of those. So that's the way we'll do this. So I guess David, if you'll kick it off, and then we'll go to Jerry, and then I'll ask you each the questions one at a time. David.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you, Ray. Is this working? Yeah. Thank you, Alex. My name, of course, is David Oles, and I am running for the chair of the 11th GOP District. I'm running for this position because I believe that the district is currently underutilized. I'll tell you a little bit of background about myself for those that don't know. I am a lawyer by trade, like Alex. But before I became a lawyer, I was an auto mechanic for 15 years, so I like to think I needed to do something real before I turned to law. 2 minutes is a little tough because in a lawyer's world, that's just about enough time to draw a breath. But let me tell you a little bit about why I'm running for the 11th District. The 11th District, in its reconfigured version now, spans 4 different counties: Bartow, Pickens, most of Cherokee, and part of Cobb County. We are drawn across 4 very different communities and 4 very diverse populations. What we need at this point in the 11th District is a real effort to be able to capitalize upon each of those constituencies. Now, I spent 2 years nearly on the district committee before I decided to run for this position. What I saw during my time was a good number of meetings that were handled very competently, but apart from having those meetings, we had 1 fundraising event each year, and then there was some administrative work. I saw very little that the 11th District actually did. If I'm elected, one thing that I want to do almost immediately is establish better relationships with the counties. The 11th District should be a resource that the counties can call upon.
Oh, that's time. And I did not cough your mic, but that's time for now. You'll be back. Jerry, you're up. 2 minutes.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Point of order.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm switching it over.
Good afternoon. All right. Hey, my name is Jerry Marrinich. I'm running for chairman of the 6th District. You wonder, who is this guy? Well, I'm the past chairman of the Forsyth County Republican Party the past 2 years. I was the first vice chair of the party. I was the precinct chair of the party. I attended the county convention as a delegate in 2019, 2020, 2021. District convention in 2021, and again, we're going to do it in 2023. State convention in 2021, and again, we're going to do it in 2023. I'm a lifelong Republican. I've been a registered Republican since I was 18 years old. So I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but it's over 40 years. With that being said, I have 40 years of experience. I was chairman of my county legislature for 5 years. I was a legislative coordinator for the Senate. And I was a firefighter, retired after 30 years of service as a lieutenant. And I was in New York City when 9/11 happened, so I responded to the 9/11 tragedy that day. I'm an experienced fundraiser. I raised fundraised for many campaigns, and my biggest accomplishment as a county chairman was that we took from a 14-5 Democrat majority in a 1 election cycle, made it a 12-7 Republican majority, and ever since then we've still been Republican majority. So People couldn't understand how we did it in one cycle, but we did, and that's still maintained. So that was something that I'm proud of, something that we did. In going forward, I just wanted to say that the part of the chairman is to be a conduit between the state and the counties. This county, this district will have 6 counties: Dawson, Forsyth, Gwinnett, Fulton, Cherokee, Cobb. And going forward, it's going to make it hard. So I hear my time is up. That's not the Avon lady. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. So next we're moving on to questions. I'll ask you each the same questions one at a time, starting with David. And to be clear, they each are running for different positions. I think David is running in the 11th, and Jerry's running in the 6th. So that just so you know, it's just they're different positions. So David, first off, you have 1 minute to answer. What is the most pressing political question facing the 6th District GOP that you have proposed to address if and when you take office?
The 11th.
Thank you, Alex. And I will respond to that from the 11th District's perspective. From my view, the most important thing that we have to do is concentrating on winning races with Republican candidates. That first and foremost is what this party is about, and that's what I would continue to see that the 11th District is about. Beyond that, I think there are some critical issues that we have to address. The first is we have to work internally very hard to arrest the splintering that's been going on within the Republican Party. We spend far too much time fighting with each other when there are Democrats out there that are completely unified and they are coming against us hard. So we need to find ways to bring ourselves together. The third thing that I see as key is that we have a big job ahead of us to make sure that we restore trust in our voting systems. I do believe that we can convince our own people to show up at the ballot box, but if they do not have faith in this system because of the lack of transparency, we're going to continue to have problems.
Thank you. Thank you very much, David, and I'll use the mic that keeps malfunctioning so that way the candidates will be heard better. I'll just yell really loud. Next up, Jerry, same question. What is the most pressing political question facing the District GOP that you have proposed to address if and when you take office?
District 6. It's been under flux for a few years, and I'm glad that Joel Knapp picked it up in the beginning of this year to get us back on track. But he's not running again. So with that being said, the past 2 years as a representative on the district, as the chairman of the Forsyth County Club Party, I found that people were confused, didn't know which way to turn. We need to develop a mission statement that all 6 counties can agree on. We got to have unity. We got to have teamwork. The chairman doesn't make decisions by himself. The chairman has to use a team. And going forward, that's my plan, is to use a team. And the issue we have, a big thing, is that people are talking about the election integrity. And I understand that. All right? I mean, I come from New York State, which is a very liberal state, so I understand what it is to make sure we get our votes counted correctly. But with that being said, we have to focus on 2024. 2024 is important. Some of the election integrity rules have been taken care of, and we'll address those later.
Thank you very much, Jerry. Next up, David, realistically, how much volunteer time do you think you could give to advancing Republican principles in your district?
Well, Alex, the answer is I think that no matter how much time we devote, it may not be enough, but I'm going to devote every possible minute that I can to this job. Fortunately, my 3 children have grown now, and I have the ability outside of regular hours to be able to devote to this. I devoted an enormous amount of time to this cause since 2020, and I will continue to be able to do so in the indefinite future.
Thank you. Next, all right, All right, Jerry, realistically, how much volunteer time do you think you could give to advancing Republican principles in your district?
I sit here and I smile because I had to take over a Republican Party in Forsyth County that was in flux. And at one point, there was only just 2 board members, and we had to build it. So with that being said, I want to acknowledge my wife, Melody. It wasn't for her and her support, and the fact that I'm retired. I probably put a minimum of 25 hours a week for the last year and a half into the party. We had weekly meetings, I hosted debates, and I hosted phone banks, postcard writings, poll watchers, poll workers. So I know what it takes to get all those things done. Excuse me. So going forward, if it takes 1 hour or 100 hours, I'm retired, and I'm here to tell you I'm a hard worker, and I'll work till it's done.
Thank you very much. Next question for David. Do you believe that election fraud was a key factor for Trump's 2020 loss in Georgia?
Alex, I believe that faith in elections is critical in order for us to win races in the future, because our people, when they don't show up, cannot help us to win. I believe personally that there was an enormous amount of evidence that showed problems with the systems. There were documented flaws, there were inconsistencies, there were a number of factual issues and statistical analyses that really never saw the light of day. But whether or not one believes that ultimately there were errors in the system, I think it is more critical that we have the perception that this is a fair and transparent system. And I believe the key to that is that we have proper auditing ability and that we're allowed to see those ballots so that we can tell after the election that it was conducted fairly. And unless and until we do that, we're going to continue to have problems.
Thank you, David. Jerry, if elected, do you believe election fraud was a key factor for Trump's 2020 loss in Georgia?
Was there election fraud? Yes. No doubt about it. Now we have to correct it, okay? And I believe they've started the process in correcting it in the state. And people ask me about, well, what work we do? Well, you know, when you have a problem, and I like to say, it's like an apple, okay? You don't try to swallow the whole apple once you take little bites. We got our foot in the door, okay? And now we'll make a few more corrections as we go forward. As we go forward, we'll push for more corrections to be done so that people understand. But you can't do it all in one process. Be happy with the accomplishments we got. Don't forget to focus and keep working forward to get more of the accomplishments we're looking for. And I think people will become less disenfranchised and will show up to vote. I think that was a big issue. People became disenfranchised and didn't know what to believe. So with that being said, I think we're heading in the right direction. Let's keep going that way. Let's keep our pedal to the metal.
Thank you, Jerry. Next, David, if elected, what are some of the ways you would like to see the District GOP bring accountability to Republican politicians in the district?
I think this question focuses on the second half of what my vision for the district function. It's not just enough for us to support races and get candidates elected. We absolutely need and must do that. But after the dust is settled and the election is over, I believe the district has a key role in making sure that those politicians that we elected to office serve us in the manner that they promised to do, and that they have provided transparency in what they are doing. Too many times we hear about arrangements that politicians have. We know that on a national level, there are politicians who are poisoned by relationships with foreign powers. I would like to see us establish regular communications. I would like to see our representatives show up at our meetings, at our district meetings, and even as far down as our county meetings, so that they can report directly to the people that they've been hired to serve on what it is that's going on and how they're voting and why it is that they're doing things the way they are. If we do not have that ability, we will not be able to make sure that these people's representatives are doing their job.
Next up, Jerry. Many people, if elected, what are some ways you would like to see the District GOP bring accountability to Republican politicians in the district?
Keyword, accountability. Not only for the politicians, but for the chairman. You're putting your trust in me to make sure I help hold their feet to the fire. Okay? I hope they establish a relationship with all the elected officials so that when I make a phone call, they'll take it. And then if they don't, then I'll go down and knock on their door. I'm retired. I can go down and knock on their door. It don't matter. I'll be there. I can get up at 5:30 in the morning and drive down. But the key is, we have to hold them accountable. Yes, they make stump speeches all along. Okay? And that's what they're called, stump speeches. Trying to garner your vote. But we and you, as the delegates, it's not just me, you have to be my eyes and ears out there too. Because there's no way I can be in 6 counties listening to everyone going out. But if you're out there listening and you find something that's gone awry and needs attention, let me know and I'll take action.
Thank you, Jerry. All right, David, this is the final question. Many people talk about saving America from socialist Democrats, but how do you propose to help save us from socialist Republicans?
Well, I think you accomplished that in 2 ways. The first is we have to make sure that we elect good candidates. I sat up here and listened to Mr. McCoon talk about getting behind our Republican candidates, and we definitely need to do that. But I believe that a healthy primary system is the best way to ensure that we have, when those candidates come to us for support and money, that those are the kinds of candidates that we need. The second way I would propose to do this is to have them give us regular reporting on what it is that they're accomplishing. We need to understand from our elected representatives why they voted the way that they did, because we need to remind them through that process that we are a country of limited government, that we do not look for government to solve every one of our problems, and that the saying that he who governs least governs best is the best rule for our elected representatives.
Thank you, David. Thank you, David. So, Jerry, many people talk about saving America from socialist Democrats, but how do you propose to help save us from the socialist Republicans?
Are there any socialist Republicans? Of course there are. Of course there are. And how do we do that? We have to vet our candidates better before they get into office. As chairman of the Forsyth County Republican Party, I held 6 debates so that people could see what they were. I had questions for all of them. None of them knew the questions ahead of time like today. And we had debates for all the state offices and local offices. As district, I will certainly focus on the congressional offices and also the state offices that we represent. 6 counties is tough to get them all together. But you know what? We break it down into teams. And the teams can help focus on each one of those counties. And if they need help, that's what we're here for as chairman of the district, is to help them. Be the conduit. So the key is vetting the candidate before they get on the ballot. Because then that way we don't have to worry about them changing colors.
Thank you very much, Jerry. Thank you. So, we appreciate you being here. As you all just talked about, vetting candidates, having accountability. That's what you're all here for. And thank you for being here to let everyone know what your positions are and for running. Next up will be the first vice chair candidates, Chris Moore, Richard Jordan, John